That's not what I want. So the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to create 2 new course descriptions. So it's going to be, now a lot of these are going to be set up, but I'm doing this from scratch. All right. So I'm going to call it Israel. All right. And so Israel is here, and a trip to Israel, and we'll just call it trip to. And so then we're going to save that one, and we're going to close it, and we're going to make a new one for Brazil. So Brazil, and this is going to be this is trip to Brazil. All right, and now, I didn't save it, but I did. Just take it. All right. So now if I close this and I apply, then I got Brazil and Israel. So these two, this is the system Terry would be using. So now I'm going to create a new course. Like some of my test data doesn't have everything that is up to like the current course, because I don't have the current course offering period in here, so I'm going to make one. So if I apply here and say, all right, I've got a what's 2016, 2017. So this would be for which academic year? Let's say it was all right. So let me close here. Let me go back to, this is stuff that Terry will already have be set up, but I want you to be able to see it so that you have an understanding of how it's done. So let me go to the academic years table, which is here. So let's just set in 18, and we'll make this 2019 to 2020. All right, 2020, and the import key, we'll make this visible, and we're going to say that this is a fine. We'll put that at the bottom. Review and publish these changes. Okay, close. And now we're going to come back here. We'll make a new one, and hopefully this will come here, you clear. Let me close and open my course offering periods again. Nope. Come here. Let's go here. Let's go back to course offering periods. And let's go ahead and make sure that the academic year that you're talking about is here now is 2019, 2020. And so this is going to be like the fall of 2019 to 2020. And we don't have, there'll be certain date sets that will be associated. I don't have to set all those, but this is, I'm just going to list for you to understand what's going to happen. We're going to save this again. Okay, so when's the start date? It's going to be, I guess it already did. I'll say it started in August 1. Yep. All right, so now, oh, and end date, duh. All right, so August 1 to, let's make it December 31st. Okay, so now we save that. We've got fall set up. And so now I'm going to make a, oh wait, did I just have this open? All right, let's go back and, all right, so now we're going to call this somewhere in my process, unless I created it and I didn't. Let me see if I did. I didn't. Yeah, fall of 2019, 2020. So we have all this now. Now we want to make these Israel and Brazil into those. All right, so let's go ahead and close this, and let's go ahead and say create course offering. Let's just say I'm just going to make this an accounting elective for right now, the area. And then I'm going to choose the fall 2019-2020. And I say OK. So now you got Brazil. Now it's 1.5 credit hours, right? And there's attributes we could have, but that's fine. So now we have the, and we're going to make just one section of it. So, whoops, not two. I meant to get rid of that one. All right, so we're going to come back to this one, and we're going to call it Section A. And we're going to put it on the, there's more we have to do, but I know I have to do that. Tell me about the capacity. Are they mostly 35? All right, so there's a bunch of other stuff we can do, but we're going to say that this is our setup. And now we're going to go over back to we've got Section A set up, and now we're going to go to Israel, and we're going to set it up. It's also going to be an accounting elective because I don't know the other ones. Fall 2019-2020 is fine. Israel is going to be 1.5. Oh. And we're going to say that that's fine. Save. And we'll close that. And I want to go back. Oh, I should have gone right over to the section, but that's all right. All right, so now we're going to go to the offerings. And we're going to go to Israel. And we're going to go to the section, which is where I should have gone to the first time. Set up Section A. And the capacity is going to be 35. And we have pretty much that set up for so now we've got these two sections, and we've gone through we need to create 2 new students. Yeah. All right, so let's go here to, now I'm just showing you this because all this is going to be set up already in Terry's when you get to Terry, but just so you understand. All right, so I'm going to add a student, and we're going to call him Drab D, and he's going to be David Drab, and his grad year is going to be, let's say, a first year, because we want to.
So first year would be
21. Yep. So create 2 students, Drab D, grad year 2021, and we'll call him Nick S, grad year 2020. And okay, so David Drab, and so grad year here is 2021. We'll save it, and his password is going to be Drab D. And now we're going to I'm just going to close this for right now, and I'm going to create, and then we're going to show you creating the other ones. So we're going to add a student here, and it's going to be Nick S, and it's going to be Nick, and we'll say here's Skriloff, and he's going to have a grad year of 2020, and his password is going to be Nick S. Okay. All right. Okay, so we saved him, And now we have the 2 students. So if I come back to the list of students, then we have, come here, you. So we got these 2 new students right here, and it's David Draft. And so now we're going to set the priority. So if I come over here to David, your priority is 1 at this point. Now if I remember for my priorities, which is, just want to remind myself, I think that priority 1 is the one I need, but let me see here. Student priority. So it's higher in priority than student 2. That's what I want to remember. Okay. So because I'm the second year who hasn't taken one, right? So my priority is going to be 1. Okay? So yours is going to be 2. All right. So now you can batch set these. You can just select a bunch of students, but so the priority equals 1 because smaller is better. And then I'm going to go over to you. All right, so let me make sure that this is all saved. And all I have is this, so let me go over to the other student, which is David Drab, and you are going to be priority 2. I'm going to save you. And so now let's double check that everything's been saved correctly. We'll come here and let's see if the priorities actually, yeah, it is. So if I do this, then notice that 1 and 2 are here, so she can see. Right? All right, so now you can do this in batch. You can just pick a whole bunch of students, set their priority to that. All right. Now we're going to create a bidding phase, a simple bidding phase, and we're going, and this is all stuff Terry does, but I want you to have this to where we're going to get to the bonus, which is we're going to give each student here 10 points. All right, so we're going to come here, just batch set their set bid credits. So they're going to be able to, where's my bid? Set bid account balance. Okay, so each of these students is going to get 10 points, right? All right, so we're going to say okay. Yes. So now if I went in here and I looked at either of these students, then hold on a second. Oh, that was already open. I think I have to go back. Yeah, so notice he has 10 points, right? All right, so let's go ahead and close this. And now we're going to make sure that they can enroll in.
If you go back to priority, was there something like a max value?
Yes, there's a max add, which is what we're going to do now. So they're going to be able to set the priorities in batch. Next thing we're going to do is set the number of credits they can sign up for. All right, so how do we do that? We set their max add credits. So we come here. This is all stuff that Terry does, but so that you understand what would have to happen. So they're going to each get 1.5. All right, and we say that's the number of credits they can, but in this case they're able to bid on up to 4 classes, right? So their number of classes they can bid on is going to be 6, right? And so I'm just going to make these because it really has nothing to do with so, but in the end, I'm just going to set this to 6 for right now. So it's going to be there's a couple ways to do it, but it's just going to be easier for right now to keep these two the same. But let me go ahead and set their max bid credits. How many can they bid on? They can bid on 6. All right. So now, if we go into this student, and I come over here back to him, then his max the bid credits. I mean, we really could have made this 1.5, but I just for just ease, and I believe the way Terry does it. But the important thing is the priority is set for each one of them. And this let me go over here to the priority of equals 2. And now we're going to create, we've set the number of bid credits. Now we're going to set up a phase. We've given each, so we're going to set up the phase with the 2 classes.
I suppose you cannot give, so we've given them the maximum amount of credit they can bid on, but we haven't given them maximum amount of points that they can bid for each course. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I was thinking.
Right. That's where you're going to come in. That's where you're going to do. You can't do it by course that way right now. So basically, you're going to say that these students, these 2 right here, if I close it and I come here to, now we're going to create a bidding phase. We're going to put those 2 courses in. So we're going to make a new one, which is going to be, this is test DWC bidding. All right. And it's going to have a start date of just yesterday, and it's going to have an action end date of tomorrow, and it's going to end tomorrow just for our example, and the posting date, we'll make that tomorrow, fine, and it's just going to be a normal bid phase. That's all we're doing for right now, and we're going to save that. And now we're going to put those 2 courses that we just, because that's our bucket, and we're going to put them into the bidding round. And so now we'll come over here to the course sections again, and I'm going to take these 2. Come here. Oh, I got to clear this. Clear. And we want to say that these that we just created, Brazil, now it doesn't, at this point, you can allow, because you want to allow certain students to come in ahead of time, right? You want certain students to be allowed to get in, and so let's do it, because even though this can be done in batch, we're going to, with our simple example, we want just the second years, this guy, right?
It should be just a priority of.
So those with priority,
1 actually.
you want them in to be able to.
So
I thought priority 2. Oh, sorry, priority 1. You're right, exactly right. Priority 1. So we want to set up the phase, and we call that test DWC bidding, and we want to say that all priority 1 students are given access, right? So let's do that. So we come over here and we say batch set the phases, add phases and action roles for those 2 sections. So in this case, I just want to have the students who are they're either going to be a first year or, well, in this case, we know they're going to be second years.
not necessarily. They are going to be second years, with the caveat that they must not have taken the DWC.
Right. She would have searched for those. Now, those that haven't taken a DWC, you would need to
Search the second years.
you would need to provide her that list.
Yep.
But we're basically going to say for all the second years, and we're going to pick the DWC. So I know I'm going to take a second year, right? And I'm going to say that only in this case, I'm going to be able to log in and see them. But if you tried to log in, you wouldn't be able to see them, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and say OK. And at this point, if I go to the course and I was to look at, don't worry about so much, but I got to make sure, I got to update the reserve capacity here. This is something that's already done in Terry's world. It was 35, right, for that one. And we see that only second years can get into this bidding phase. All right. And let me get over to the other course here, which is the Israel, and we're going to make sure that was set up with 35 as well. But you'll see it's already a lot of this I'm doing just by hand because I wanted to be clear. So at this point, we haven't even worried about the instructors. I don't have any instructors. I just want to show you the functionality. Okay, so now we have 10 points, and if I log in as Nick S with my password Nick S, this should work. Let's go ahead and find out, because that's what we do. We go here to localhost registrar student, and we're going to make this bigger so we can see it. And if I come in here to course sections, and there won't be there may be other sections here that he can see, but we're going to find out right away. So if I do Nick S and I try Nick S, let's see if that works. Okay, so here we have, he's got his 6 credits, is this phase. Let me make sure I've got the phase online. So I've got his, for this part, oh, I never gave him an action roll. Duh, sorry. So here, let me go back to my students, and this would already be set up for Terry as well. I'm just going to make this user a second year. I forgot to do that. So now, once I make him a second year, let's see if this works. Okay, so now he's got these 2, right? Now there would be, I'm going to come over here to, and you can remove the cart. You don't have to see the cart as well. But let me say where I'm trying to get to, which is the part that you're going to do. So if you get buy-in from Terry to get to basically this part, and if Terry wants support for that, I just need to get her just to contact me, and we can do it. But basically, I'm going to show you the table that we're going to do. So we're going to say select. So if I come back to the student, let me go ahead and I need to do the same thing for you. Let me go ahead and go to your student, which is here under registration. You're a first year. Okay, so I'll make you a first year, save. Because if I log out or I use a different browser here, let's suppose I used just Firefox, right? And I try to log in as you won't see anything, right? And that's what you want, because you want these people going ahead and be able to bid, right? All right, so let's just prove it. No, I need registrar student. Registrar student. All right. And I come in here and I'm you, and I want to view the sections this time. And I chose drab D. I think that's what I used. And this. And you are first year, but you won't see any other courses that would be available to you, which in this case, unless they want to, they can use a different, she may use a different action roll, but you won't see, if there's something else online, but you won't see Israel, and you won't see, it's just, you're still doing whatever else you had to do, but you have just,
So if I go see the bidding quotes, for example, so we have given them 6 for obvious reason, only for them to see. But what about those other quotes? You know what I mean?
right, the other courses, because of the time frame, Terry removes the bid points, and the bid points are only DWC bid points for that time frame. Okay. And then she puts them back. Okay. Make sense? That's a great question. All right. Well, tell me if...
No, I think it makes sense. What I'm wondering is about if there is basically an option of removing those 8 results, so you literally not see anything for them.
During that time, yes, there is. You would just have to... She could either create a DWC action roll. There's a whole bunch of ways to do it, but I'm pretty sure she does it so it is only the things they see. Okay. But I'd have to, we would have to, because that's another user experience question. It's setting it up, and it's how much because this is going to be last minute, I think, it may be last minute to Terry. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out.
And is there also a way in which you can provide like a description? So see the heading view sections. Could you put a description? This is an enrollment for DWCs, and this is kind of how we do it. Or would it always need to be communicated via email and then just deal with it?
Like you want to put you can put all kinds of information like here in Brazil, or is that what you're after?
No. What I'm thinking is like to explain this whole DWC process, because usually they have more.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So there's a better way, like you can look at this through the course planning tool. So if I come here and this is the modern version of what I'm just showing you, and they can do the exact same thing here that they would put in their bids, but there's a video help part right here.
Okay.
So if you work it out with Terry, we can change that link, right? And instead of having a video that comes up with what students normally see,
Hello,
right?
Students.
There can be a video that this is how you do DWC, and it would be a live video right in line.
Okay, but there's no way that you would just have a piece of text. So if you go back to the results,
Oh, sure. Like if this text over here is configurable, you can put a link in it
okay.
to
Right, so basically this is kind of like, okay, so you could amend this and it would be on the front end. So for example, see on the left hand side below search courses,
Yep.
you could have, I don't know how this works, put priorities where 4 is the highest and 1 is the lowest, basically.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you could even write that right in here.
Yep.
You could have a video that explains it. You could also have a hover where it says on every one of these there can be a web note that says this you have to put in, for each, and you could have it for every one of them.
Okay, that's perfect, yeah. Because what I'm thinking is like in the video, if you're a second year student, you have done it already.
Right, you're going to skip the video. Right. Okay. So far we're good. All right. So now this is where the actual table that this goes into is bid. Select star from student course section bid. So if I go right now and I say, okay, here's all the bids that are being put in. The actual bid amounts are right here under bid. Right. So if I'm not going to be you, I'm going to be me. So I'm here, me, the second, and let's say I accidentally do 5, right? And then I do this one would be right? But I've got to bid one at a time. So I bid this one, and my bid went in, and I got to do this one, which is 3, and I bid that one. And I could go back and change it or anything, but because you're saying 4, 3, 2, 1, you would run a query against this part right here, and you would see, oh, he did 5 and 3, right? And we could group it by user, and you could work with Pete or whoever you want to basically say, here's all the students that haven't done it right, right? And so now I'm going to so I have at this point I'm logging in, and these can be cleared out. I'm not sure how Terry does it, but at the end of the day, at this point, I want to let, so let's say a week's gone by, right? And they got their chance to put in now it's not going to give, unless you're doing some kind of other resolution, it's just that it's not going to matter, because what matters is when resolutions run. But I got in first, a week later happens, and now you're going to come in. So I come here and I go back to you, but you're a first year, and I'm going to say, oh, all right, for this course right here, course section, where were we? We were here. If I come here and I add, now I'm going to add the first year, right? So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and say first year, and I'm going to apply, and I'm going to get back to DWC, and I say, okay, now this can be done in batch as well, but now, just so you see, they were let in first. Now you're going to be able to see it when you go in. Let me go over to the other class and do the same thing for Brazil. Let me save it here, make sure it's saved, and then come back to Brazil, come over here, add the first year, and apply, and here, okay. Now, what's going to happen? All right, so at this point, if I go in and I'm U, right, instead of 8 results, I got 10 results, and I got Brazil here, right? And now I can do the exact same thing. I could also see it over in the, if you use the course planning tool, you can just see it over there, exactly the same thing. It's just going to be, it's a nicer view of, and let's assume that everything below is gone, right, for our discussions. Now, that you put in, let's say you follow the rules, right? You put in 4 for this one, and the other one is 3 here, right? And the only person that, so at this point, you put in 4 and 3, and I put in, now you call me and I'm like, oh, okay, sure, I messed up, right? Because you ran the query, right? And I get an email and it says, oh, okay, I got to fix this one. So let's make this before. And I update my bid right here, and now I come in and we went back to the table, we would see that we have 4 and 3, 4 and 3, right? And so they're correct. And now I'm at a point where I'm going to run resolution, right? Now, in this case, when resolution runs, because because I'm got a higher priority, right? Then I'm going to get both of my classes first before you. And even though we're both going to get in because there's 35 spots, I'll get those. And so I'll just go run it real quick, and you'll see that this would, so if I close this now and I come back to, let me just close all these windows so I don't confuse myself. I go over here to the phase, and I apply, and I get the actual DWC phase. And I come here, and I just resolve these bids. Fine. And yes, I want to resolve. And so now it ran. I come back here. These bids will be gone, the bottom 4. Right? The enrollments were created. And I came over here to course sections, and I look here, and we'll say that Brazil, there's 2 enrolled in each, right? But the way it went in was that I got in first, but there was enough space, so that is in, that was, but let me stop recording now because it's, but I just, come here, you. Where did my recorder go? Should be one of these. This one. All right, click here to pause.